Most of tonight's top story was filmed before Monday's mass shooting in Las Vegas. There's still so much unknown, but talk of gun control has once again found its way to the forefront of the national dialogue. It rings of a similar situation that the United States was in nearly 5 years ago. Jamie Arnold opened Boltworks Tactical Firearms in December of 2012. That was a little more than 4 months after the Aurora movie theater shooting and only 9 days before Sandy Hook.
As I sit here talking with you, I have goosebumps on my arms right now when I get teary-eyed. That's people's friends and family, and so that affects us as business owners and as firearms people.
New York State passed the Secure Ammunition and Firearms Enforcement Act soon after Sandy Hook. In it, a number of provisions, including a new definition of assault weapons. What was it like going through that time when a lot was changing as you're opening up a new business? You had to deal with different regulations, different laws as you're trying to start a new venture.
Yeah, we took a big hit. It was a big scare, and ultimately in New York State, if you tell somebody anywhere in the world that you can't do something, they're going to figure out a way to do it. Immediately, there were New York legal variants of the AR-15 that were approved, that were challenged, and still are, and there's still a lot of that process going on. But we figured it out in a hurry, and we figured out ways to grow our business outside of that and turn it into what we have now.
The definition of assault weapon details characteristics about rifles, shotguns, and pistols. The law regulates the number of assault-style features on a weapon, like detachable magazines, folding stocks, and pistol grips.
These are all military traits, and that's why they find their way into law.
Dr. Robert Spitzer is the head of the political science department at SUNY Cortland. He's written 5 books on gun control legislation.
And, gun owners have a fair point to say that, look, some of these things are purely cosmetic, and so what's the big deal? But part of it does go to the military origins of those weapons.
The law says that you can modify firearms to make them SAFE Act compliant. Jamie and his staff do that quite a bit.
Again, the frustrating part is it is exactly the same operating system. And with time, anyone that operates any of these firearms, you'll be able to see that they are absolutely just as effective. And you can run a competition as effectively with this rifle as you can with this rifle.
Jamie showed us a shot timer comparing guns that are and are not SAFE Act compliant.
5 shots in 1.2 seconds. Yeah. And we can get a very similar split time on that gun.
1.02 seconds.
How effectively did that law regulate that criminal's ability to get that gun? Because it was illegal for that person to get that gun that way, no matter what, whether the SAFE Act was here or not.
I hate to make it this simple, but you make laws, all right, but who breaks the laws? Criminals.
Ken Lansing has served as Tompkins County's sheriff since 2010.
So that's not the answer in my mind. Don't make tougher laws, because it really kind of restricting the honest, good, faithful citizens of this county or this state. So we wanted to see more stricter punishments for people that use handguns or rifles or whatever in their mode of committing any crime, let alone killing people.
So where are criminals getting their guns? Last year, New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman's office released a report called Target on Trafficking, which aimed to show where guns used in crimes originated. Between 2010 and 2015, more than 70% of them were brought in from out of state. The report names 7 states south of New York that have a large flow of guns funneling up north. They make up the Iron Pipeline.
Because many southern states and states in other parts of the country have pretty lax gun laws, and it's pretty easy to buy a lot of guns in Georgia or South Carolina or Virginia or places like that, chuck them in your car, get on the interstate highway, come up to New York and sell them on the black market or pass them around for various nefarious uses.
So we're basically 5 years in now. Has the New York SAFE Act made New Yorkers safer?
Oh, clearly it has. And how do we measure that?
Gary Puttup is a member of New Yorkers Against Gun Violence, a nonprofit that seeks to reduce gun violence.
And look at mortality rates from firearm deaths. We're getting better and other states are getting worse. We can make an argument as to whether that's a cause, but it's not a coincidence. At the very least, it's a correlation.
In the wake of every tragedy comes a call to action. This week's shooting in Las Vegas is no exception, so that begs the question, is a national gun control law in the cards?
If we had a federal, guidelines, and we have some, but I think it needs to be addressed by the whole United States, because that's exactly right. People want weapons, they're going to get them somehow, and they have gone to other states, like you said, where it's a little bit simpler to purchase a handgun.
There's no question the United States is disproportionately affected by gun violence, and it's not a mystery on how to solve this problem.